Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are my snipers doing today? I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Listen, today we're going to be talking about the one and only turbo coin. I'm super excited to get into the technical analysis. But before we do, shout out to our sponsor. Big shout out to Uber Eats for sponsoring this video. First 50 people get $20 off their first 2 meals, which means you can literally eat for free. Just use the code on your screen or the link in the description below. But yeah, guys, seriously, if you just use that code, you literally get $40 worth of food for free, 20 times 2. So yeah, anyways, let's just jump right into it. So we can see that we are currently ranked 151 in the world with 370 million in market cap and 105 million in volume. If we go and look at the amount of holders are, last time I checked, there was over 55,000. And you can see, yeah, we are consistently growing despite price kind of moving downwards and sideways. If we look at the chart, we can see that this is how we look like. So even though, in recent times, we did break structure, right? We broke this structure over here. And the reason why this was so important is because that was the beginning of the shift, right? We respected this. We went below this. Boom. We were just consistently creating lower and lower points until very recently, right? Very recently, we can see that the last relevant highs was this area and this area, right? And the last relevant lows were this area. But we can see we did technically create higher and higher lows, right? Especially if we go on the 4-hour, right? The 4 hours painting a very nice picture, right? We had these highs over here. We had these higher highs. We had these lows. And then we had these higher lows over here. Boom, we went up, creating a higher high, right? And then recent times we went down. However, it already seems like Turbo wants to shift in momentum, right? And like I said, technically in terms of structure, it already has been. Now, could it technically even go a little bit lower down here and then go up? And would that still count? Yes. But we can see the last few hours have been just going sideways. Now, the reason why possibly Turbo has been going sideways and starting to go up is because Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen, is looking to attempt to try to go to all-time highs. Okay, we can see that Bitcoin in recent times did fake us out at one point, right? When it had a huge engulfing candle, but then the next couple of hours were very slow and we started to recover. We can see that we did have a nice 4-hour candle close here on Bitcoin, right? Closing higher than this point over here. And I do expect Bitcoin to attempt to go to 109,000, potentially to 110,000 over the very next short while. Like I'm talking about probably over the next 2 days, there's going to be an attempt somewhere there. So what does that mean for Turbo? Well, if Bitcoin's going to go up, that means Turbo is also going to continue to go up. So this is what I would like to see from Turbo, is to just kind of continue the pattern, right? Continue the pattern of consistently creating a higher high, right? A higher high previous than the other high, and a higher low, right? Just simple fundamentals. Now, the one worrying thing is that altcoin dominance is potentially going to be dropping even lower than it is right now, okay? Now, the reason why I say this, it's a possibility, because we can see that there was a nice resurgence in the beginning of May, but the next week we sold off, and now we're kind of continuing to sell off slowly. If we do start closing below, like let's just say the 7.75 area, then we will most likely be going to the zone I've been talking about for months. Okay, well, listen, that's okay, because what this may cause is a minor pullback, right? A minor pullback. And if, worst case scenario, this happens, if Bitcoin drops a lot and then we also have this pullback, something like Turbo would just be discounted, which I'll show you the discount prices in just a second. But we can see every time there's been a big dip, the next couple of weeks have just been green. And that's kind of when altcoin season has started, right? Aggressive sell-off, and then we were a nice recovery, aggressive sell-off, and then a nice recovery. So yeah, we can see that this has been happening since a while now, right? Since a while. So this is the zone I'm looking for. If Turbo does like to pull back, let's just say overall over the next couple days or weeks, then like I said, we will be looking at the 0.004 area as the main target to be buying. Okay, and then we will also have a secondary buy target at, if we go to the monthly, at this zone over here. Okay, now I do think there's a little bit of a pullback due. I do think that, you know, we will still most likely be going sideways overall, because like I said in the previous video, but I'll say it again, over here, ladies and gentlemen, right, when we were losing momentum, we had a red monthly candle, which was just a retest, and then the next month after that was the biggest green candle we've ever had for Turbo. Okay, and it would not surprise me if we will have kind of a weak May. June might be a little bit pullback, a little bit whatever, right? We talk about how the altcoin dominance might be going down, this and that, and then huge pumps over those weeks, right? Huge pumps. It would not surprise me. Portfolio reviews, economic and global updates and news, frequent up-to-date technical analysis, and a very supportive community. Sell and buy calls and trading education is provided. If that sounds good to you, now is the time to act. Once the markets start moving, there is no I should have, coulda, woulda. Now is the time. If you want to take things to another level, we have the blueprint that covers everything from A to Z in crypto that you need. No fluff, no bullshit, just the most important news, fundamentals, and technicals to have you succeed in these markets. Once we do start the pumps, I believe Turbo will be unstoppable. There's only just a few, you know, checkpoints where we can really slow down. And that's roughly, you know, at the 0.008 area, maybe a little bit lower, and then practically all-time highs, right? Practically all-time highs. So yeah, I am super optimistic about this coin. Right, generally right now, this is literally going to be the blueprint for this token. Right, we see a little bit most likely of a retracement. Right, we consolidate a little bit, break up, go above this zone, slow down, go here, go above this, go below like this, and then start breaking out. Like this is literally practically going to be the blueprint. Like I said, do not care about micro moves. I know you guys do enjoy them, but overall, like, I'm just super excited for this coin. Now, some people ask me how high do I think this coin can go. I think at the minimum 10 billion, right? 10 billion is going to be roughly a 30x from here, a little bit less. So that would be, you know, 10x would be like 15 cents more or less in terms of realism. Now, I am still going to do a full-on video in terms of its like final price prediction once we have everything down, right? Once we see a little bit more data, once we compare it to other meme coins, you know, the money, I got to see some more global events. At that point, I'll make my final price prediction of what I think is going to happen. But I definitely think we will, like, worst case scenario, if this coin was kind of like doing whatever, was going to 10 cents. Now, I know that sounds kind of crazy now. But you got to realize a lot of coins are going to hit multiple billions in market cap, especially for meme coins. So yeah, it's just going to happen. It's going to be inevitable. So that is it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye.